Hello guys. So this video is going to be a pregnancy and birth story video, and it started with a bit of a rocky road, mainly because, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was actually going to a community college. I'm not going to say what it is to keep my location private. But anyway, so I was wanting to study to become a vet technician. Now, I was so close to where I thought I could do it, but I was in between thinking, is this the safest thing to do in my current situation? Well, I got into the interviewing of the program. So whenever I got there, I ended up telling the person in charge my situation. They said it would be best for me to wait a whole year, but to go ahead and do the interview process. So that's what I went ahead and did. Around June, I got my acceptance letter, and I had unfortunately decided that because of the numerous amounts of chemicals and diseases that I would be exposed to, I decided that it would be the smartest to decline, and they knew exactly why. I have actually decided going into this that I will not be going back to that program because I have chosen to be a part of my son's life on a deeper level. I want to homeschool him as well, so when he gets old enough, I hope to put some homeschooling content out. But anyway, as we all know, pregnancy can be difficult on the pregnant mom and the family. Now, I'm just gonna skip past a lot of that because there's not really much to tell, and anything that I could, family would want me to keep that private, which I completely understand and I appreciate that. But anyways, going forward, I will say that the only symptoms that I really had were sensitive smell. In the first trimester, I could not handle any kind of meat. It made me want to puke. Alright, so fast forwarding to June, me and my husband decided to finally get an apartment together. So we got our first apartment, and it was rough. It was a rough transition going from living with my parents to living with my now husband. Whenever he went off to work, I either went to my parents' house because they only live a couple minutes away, and then if I wouldn't, I would be in my apartment watching TV. Now, yes, I did watch like animes, cartoons, soap operas, you name it, but eventually I got bored of that and I went to YouTube and I wanted to find an outlet. I wanted to find other women who were in my situation, not necessarily in my actual situation, just women who were moms who were willing to share their content on how to take care of their kids or just something like that. I think I looked up pregnant women or moms of baby boys. Well, instead of really finding any moms that have baby boys, I ended up finding 3 very wonderful, very confident women. What I'm saying is, you guys gave me the confidence, and I am so happy that I found you guys. I feel like I am a better person myself because I got to see your content. Alright, so fast forwarding again, past that, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my birth story, which would be September 30th, I think. Yeah. So, it was a day where I didn't think anything of, oh, I'm gonna have my baby today. It was just a go into the hospital, get a checkup, see how everything's going, and boom, I was confronted by the nurse telling me that I have preeclampsia. Now, I knew for the past 2 weeks that it looked like I was more swollen. My mom even told me that I needed to get checked, and I just thought nothing of it because I didn't think that I was going to be in that situation. I tried to limit myself on sodium, which is a leading cause of preeclampsia, and obviously that didn't help me. But the nurse told me that the last time she checked me 2 weeks ago, there were actually proteins that she didn't tell me about, and so she said she was sorry for not telling me before, which, yeah, if I would have known before ahead of time, I probably would have been in a better situation than I was in. But anyway, they right away told me that I needed to be put on some sort of medicine. It was like a magnesium sulfate, I don't know, it was magnesium something, and it was a seizure medication to slow down like any seizures that I could have. I don't personally get seizures, so I was worried. But apparently I was contracting already at that time, and so that ended up slowing down my contractions, and I ended up being in labor for 2 days. Don't know the exact hours, but I know it was 2 days. I know that during that time I grew in pain. I did not want to get an epidural. I want to say like really late at night, like almost 11 o'clock, I had visitors from friends, which I am thankful that I had friends who wanted to come and see me, but man, I was not in the best of moods. I was obviously in labor. But anyway, it happened, and after the 2 days had passed, it was getting pretty late. I was in so much pain. Actually, I don't know when I got this other medication, but they told me that it was like an epidural without getting the shot. So I thought, hey, yeah, let's do it. Well, when they put me on that medication, it was like I was still feeling the pain really badly, but I was basically high. I don't know what high felt like, but that's my only comparison. But anyway, it was hard for me to move. I basically had to be on bed rest. When I had to go to the bathroom, it was a job. It was so exhausting. But as time went on, I was 9.5 centimeters dilated, and they told me, you know what, you can go ahead and get the epidural. Are you okay with that? And I just said, I really want to go natural, but with the pain that I'm in, I feel like I have no choice. So I went ahead and did the epidural. And let me just tell you, as soon as I got it, I felt a huge weight lift off of my shoulders. Now, I know a lot of women don't get that feeling, so I feel so thankful that I felt so much better. And I was like, I am ready to have this baby. I feel so much better. I have the energy to do it. And so they told me, okay, go ahead and push. And I was like, wait, what? Now? Already? So I started pushing, and let me tell you, pushing is hard. After birth, I had bruises all in my arms from me just straining my muscles to push my baby out. It was crazy. Now, I'm just going to say it. It was not what I expected at all. I wanted a golden hour. I wanted to be able to hold my baby and nurse him as soon as he came out. That didn't happen. Instead, he was not breathing for the first 5 minutes. He did not cry, and he was sent straight to the NICU. Now, I did get a picture with him as soon as he was born, and I'll insert that here if I find it. After that, he was sent to the NICU, and since I was on bed rest with preeclampsia, I was not able to see my son for 2 whole days. That was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. During the first night, I was woken up at 2 a.m. by a NICU nurse telling me that my son was basically on a respiratory tube. He was not breathing on his own, and he also had to be fed through a tube because he would not accept anything. The heartbreak that I felt knowing that he might not come out of this, it was 2 a.m. guys. It was hard. But one thing that I wasn't told was that me and him both could have died in this situation, and I wish it would have ended up better. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. But anyway, I was basically forced to go back to sleep because I was so tired, and knowing this information, I just wanted to sleep it off. So, got through that. The next day, I was still unable to see him, but I was told that he was off the breathing tubes, and off the feeding tubes, and that I could give samples of my breast milk to him. Now, he was still having to be in the NICU to stabilize him, to keep an eye on him, make sure that everything was going all right. Then let me just say, my husband went to check on him, my family went to check on him, his family went to check on him, and even friends got to check on him. That's a lot of people that could see my baby before me. That is hard, guys. Not saying that my situation is worse than others. No, it's not. There are a lot of people who go through so many worse endings than what I went through. After that night went by, I woke up and was told that today's the day that I can finally go see him. I can't remember what time of day. I think it was during the day and not night, but I was finally able to get out of bed. My IV was taken out. Everything else was taken out. I was finally free to go in a wheelchair. Guys, it was pretty painful to even get out of bed. But as soon as I got into the wheelchair, they wheeled me to the NICU. And let me just say, it was a maze. It was scary, like just going different places that I had no idea. And as soon as I got into the NICU, I was told my baby was like way on the other end, like the last baby at the end of the room. And as soon as I walked in and saw that little tiny baby just hooked up, my heart melted, guys. That was my baby. I got to see him, and I was told that I could hold him. I didn't know what to do. He was this little fragile being, and I got to hold him for the first time. I needed help, so I kind of asked for someone to help me. Like, the NICU nurse helped me, set me up. I was able to hold him, and I could breastfeed him for the first time. I was able to latch him after a few little tries, and I got to hold him for, I want to say it was like 2 hours. It felt so great to be with him. But then, as night came, I had to leave, and whenever I was in my hospital bed, they came the next morning, like around 8 a.m. telling me that he has jaundice now and he has to be under lights. So that was difficult. I thought that me and him would be able to leave that day, and we could not. And during that entire process, I would go in and out just to visit him, just to see him as much as I could. Now, let me say, I was actually in a college class during this time, and I was trying to get work done, but at the same time, I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to get rest. I was trying to eat. I was trying to take my pills. I was trying to visit my baby. I was trying to occupy family members who came in to visit. It was an on and off, back and forth situation that it was not the most comfortable, but the nurses there made me feel comfortable. It was the fact that I had to go back and forth, and yes, there were some not so pretty situations that I had gone through because I was still feeling bad, and a lot of that stuff I'm not going to say because it's really personal. And finally on the 5th day, which I know doesn't seem like long to some people, because I know some people whose babies were having to be there for months because of situations like this or worse. And I'm just so happy it was only 5 days, but 5 days, guys, seemed like a whole eternity to me. And we were both released at the same time. We did a photo shoot, but let's just say when he came home, we were still on and off to the hospital to get blood work done because he still had his jaundice. It took probably a week or a week and a half for his jaundice to go down. But that is the pregnancy and birth story. I tried to make it short, but it seemed like maybe it was a little bit longer. Hopefully you guys don't mind me talking about this stuff, because I feel like it's really important to me to finally say the beginning of his life and let people know it wasn't easy for me, but I found inspiration through YouTube. That's why I do what I do. I decided later on that, you know what, we're finally healthy. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to be an inspiration like the other mommy vloggers that I watched were an inspiration to me, and I hope I was an inspiration for anyone who is watching this video right now and my future videos and past videos. Thank you so much for listening to me and actually watching it all the way through. I appreciate you guys so very much. And get ready for the next couple vlogs. Hopefully they're going to be fun. I think next week is going to be party prep. If not, I'll let you guys know. And hopefully they'll be good. I definitely think the party prep video and the birthday video will be fun, so stay tuned for those. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye guys.